So, first affirmative speaker, please come up to the stage.
Imagine all the families saying bad things and acting like a bad person. Would the family be happy in the inside? Hello, my name is Alice and I'm in grade 5. And today our topic is should we ban violent video games? And our team strongly stands on the affirmative side. And violence means being aggressive or actions like killing or shooting. And my colleague Bobby will be talking about racism. And my another colleague James will be talking about that. And now I am going to talk about family. They might say if there were more crimes because of the games, there would be stronger security. But if you look at the points logically, if there are stronger security, there would be better crimes that it is very hard to solve. And it is like vaccines. The first time they have a cold, if they put vaccines, they would have cold. Even if they have cold, it would be weaker. And then later there would be a super virus that if you get, it is hard to cure because the vaccine is not yet made. Because of the vaccine before, they got stronger. And my first point is, if the violent games affects the family, all of the family would have an aggressive behavior. Imagine the whole family being aggressive. They're kicking the doors and the bigger brother is threatening the younger brother. And the whole family is being very aggressive and the house is always very loud. And Anders Breivik is the deadliest mass shooter that was ever known. He killed 69 young lives and totally he killed 79 people. According to his manifesto, he was playing a violent game called warfare. And the opposition team might come up here and rebuttal that they might have no effect. They would think violence is just game. They would think it is not a hobby. But according to AAP's research, the authors wrote, although there is the broad scientific consensus that virtual violence increases aggressive thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, there has been a little public action to help mitigate children's exposure to it. And the main goal of the future is to stop violence. The world is addicted to it. By Bill Cosby. That means people are getting really violent. And there is a high percentage that it is because of the violent games. And so if we do not ban violent games or bad games, there will be more crimes and there will be more aggressive students. And in my conclusion, I have talked about family acting really violent and an unhappy family. And our next speaker, Bobby, will be talking about racism and educational perspective. What do you think? Do you think we have to ban violent video games? Thank you.
So, the role of the first speaker is to introduce the topic to the audience.
첫 번째 스피커가 해야 하는 것은 우리의 주제가 무엇인지 말해드리겠습니다.
They also have to give definitions.
그들은 또한 정의를 그 토픽에 대한 의미와 정의를 설명해 드려야 하고.
Because the first speaker is the first person to stand up, they do not have anyone to rebuttal against.
반대하지 않는 팀의 첫 번째 스피커는 제일 첫 번째로 일어나서 말하기 때문에 다른 포인트를 이렇게 리버트하지 않아도 됩니다.
So what we do in debate is we teach the first speakers to try and think what the negative team might say.
그래서 선생님들은 첫 번째 스피커들에게 다른 팀이 뭘 말할지 한번 추리를 해보아서 이렇게 반대를 하는 겁니다.
This is something that we teach in primary now. There are not many schools that teach this technique.
이것은 지금 선생님들이 초등학생들에게 가르치고 있는 것이고 다른 학교들, 몇몇 학교들은 이런 것은 가르치지 않습니다.
Alice's job is to try and persuade you by showing you that the negative team's arguments will not be good.
제가 해야 하는 것은 제가 여러분들을 이제 제 포인트를 맞게 보고 다른 팀의 포인트가 이제 맞지 않고 틀릴 것이라는 걸 증명하는 겁니다.
Now, the first negative team speaker will come up and he will try and persuade you and try and show you that Alice's points were not good.
이제 반대하는 팀의 첫 번째 스피커가 일어나서 왜 제 포인트가 틀린 건지 이제 말을 해드리겠습니다.
When everyone is speaking, you should be able to see each team whispering and writing down things. This is because they are listening and trying to think of how to solve the arguments.
이제 누군가 말을 하거나 말을 하고 나서는 이제 여러분들은 이 학생들이 다 적고 있는 것을 보시게 될 겁니다. 왜냐하면 이제 이 학생들은 다른 사람의 포인트들을 귀 기울여 듣고 그것에 대해 이제 왜 그게 틀린 건지 쓰고 있는 겁니다.
Lots of people think the violent games is unhelpful to children. And my colleague is Alex and Luis. Luis will talk about environment, and Alex will talk about anthropological. And I am going to talk about if it could cause worse if there is a violent game. As many as 97% of US kids aged 12 to 17 play video games, contributing to the 21.53 billion domestic video game industry. More than half of the 50 top-selling video games contain violence. Opposition team might say the violent games could help our technology because in video game there is lots of impossible weapons. If we copy that, we could make a good weapon. But if there is a dangerous weapon, it could cause a war. For example, World War II or I. If there is no weapons, there will be no wars. And Alice said all the parents will be aggressive if they play violent games, but some parents don't like to play games if they don't touch their phone. So not all the family will be aggressive. And there are many terrible situations that are happening because of violent video games. And should we keep making violent video games? In my conclusion, I have said it could be made worse if we make violent video games. Thank you.
Should we really ban violent video games?
Hello, my name is Bobby, and I'm on the affirmative side. Alice had focused on family, and I will focus on racism and law. My main points are there will be more racism and more people could break the law. If children or adults play violent video games like GTA, they will learn how to be racist by saying the N-word. But however, the opposing team could say that not all people are playing violent video games and not all are imagine that if you are playing GTA, then suddenly you just came out and went to the hood and just said, "Hi, Mike," and saying the N-word to everybody there. Maybe they could feel bad about that, so it's bad for us. However, people from USA are being racist to, some of them are being racist to African American people in America. Just imagine that just white people go to the hood and say all lives matter, and then African American came and just say, what do you mean that black lives don't matter? So if you play video games and you saw all of that, it's really bad for their feelings and it can hurt them emotionally. According to dailymail.co.uk, researchers have found that when white people play as black characters in video games classified as violent, the players were more threatening, offensive, and racist in real life. Scientists describe the finding as disturbing because it's the first time the computer alter ego or avatar has been linked to the change in behavior. As Bruce Willis once said, look, we live in a violent world. Man, this country was found on violence. Who's kidding? Who? And I will go to my second main point. My second main point is that people could break law. If we play violent video games, we could break the law. And if an adult is driving and it's red light, he can just go without the green light because people could play Need for Speed, the car game. But opposing team could say that most people know the law, so maybe they won't be affected. There are people breaking the law because of playing video games and they want to try to do stunts or something. In my conclusion, I've talked about my main points. People could break the law and more racist. The third speaker, James, will talk about that. Thank you.
Imagine you're in danger. What would you do? The letter that told Washington Congress that confront terrorists in 2007, former Pope and volunteer security worker in Accra saved a day in New Life. Body was wrong because parents were not allowed to play GTA. They couldn't know the right what if they did wrong. And ours is not all violent or sometimes very funny. Today, hello, my name is Louis. Today's topic is that should we ban violent games? We discovered this topic. Today I'm gonna talk about environment. My teammate Alex will talk about anthropological and Eric already talked about technology. Today I will strongly talk about that to ban violent games was wrong. There are lots of animals that die out. They could be killed
if we play violent games such as things that are saving animals, they could say that now I need to start saving animals. Animals were important and animals were same as our lives. Imagine your animal and somebody shoot you. How would you feel? If there are animals in danger because of threats of other creatures, they can save them. They will know how much the animal was important for the people to belong to. Right now, environment are bad because animals are getting less, so I think we need to put in jail or shoot. But if we want to kill animals, if we do violent video games like even worse, not all, but some people will know that what if they did wrong. In my conclusion, I talked about environment and talked about that they can know that what they do wrong.
Do you think that violent video games are good for kids to play? Hello, my name is James and I am grade 5. My colleagues are Bobby and Ellis. And Bobby already have focused on racism and love. And another, my colleague Ellis, have talked about feminism. And now I will focus on that. First, I will rebuttal Luis's rebuttal to Bobby. His rebuttal to Bobby was wrong because some of the parents allow their daughters or sons to play games. One of my friends from Philippines, his parents allow him to play. Now I will move on to my first point. They learn the way to kill from the violent video games. If students or adults play video games a lot, they learn the way to kill people. For example, Battleground is a game that you need to kill their enemies. Some of the kids could try to kill other people. According to edition CNN.com, in Munich, Germany, an 18-year-old man who killed 9 people in July of 2016 was a fan of first-person shooter video games. My opposition will say they will learn how to protect themselves. But they might be correct, but let's look at their argument logically. Do you think the kids will be able to protect themselves with the car? No. Also, they can just call police. When they protect themselves, they will not think they are protecting themselves. They will think that they are killing, and there is higher probability to kill people. Ladies and gentlemen, now I have reached my conclusion. My team has proved you that we should ban violent video games by giving you evidences that we have researched. Do you still think that children or kids should play violent games? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alex. Today I'll talk about why shouldn't we ban our violent video games. My colleagues are Eric and Luis. They already talked about technology and environment, and I'll talk about anthropological. Let's move on to my rebuttal. They said that most of them said that our violent video games can make us can make us make us little aggressive. But according to Google.org, they had an experiment with students, 11 years students, and let them play violent video games for each day. And some of them play 3 hours per day. And they asked the teachers what did they do in the class time, and teachers answered that if who did most violent video games came more calmer. So came more calm. So this fact was surprising me. Let's move on to my main points. My first main point is it can improve us. Do you know that some soldiers are using violent video games to improve their gun shooting skills. And do you know that many researchers were trying to find why violent games help to improve our soldiers, and then many people are using the soldiers to improve us. And then according to study recently published in the International Journal of Communication, they found out that many students use violent games to develop their knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, now I move on to my conclusion. We cannot and will not ban the creation of violent video games, but we can prevent the distribution of these disturbing games to children, where their effects can be negative. Handler code. This is code from handler code, and this code means that we could let parents to let them play lesser. Thank you.